good stuff.
I just won't be able to share any of my witty comments.
I didn't know you were gonna orgasm as soon as I came on.
I don't know, I made some deep throating noises when I came on, so...
Okay, see, I wasn't sure if I imagined that, or if, like, that actually happened, so I just didn't say anything.
Apparently I missed out, man.
Like, I mean, it was intense. Like, there was, like, a lot of, like, gargling and shit going on, and I was like, what's happening? Is he okay? But, goddamn, dude.
Oh, I heard a slurping sound, and now I want more coffee.
That's what I have right now.
Oh, I want some coffee. So I was like, well, I got like 30 minutes. I'll just go ahead and watch the first episode of ReZero because I haven't seen it. I'm like, okay, cool.
It's 45 minutes.
It's like 50 minutes. I was like, damn it. I got to the part where he goes back in time for the first time.
Yeah.
What?
So it's like halfway. Just go ahead and finish it.
Nah, that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's okay because I'm here for this and then I gotta go.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just finish it on my own time. The first thing that struck me about ReZero was that immediately I was like, okay, we're kind of MMO-ish. It's fantasy world, not necessarily MMO so far. Writing is so much fucking better than any of the other like dungeon or Sword on a Line or anything like that. I was like, oh, this writing's actually kind of clever so far.
Yeah, it's really nice. It sets a pretty high bar for what it actually wants to do with its narration, storytelling, things of that nature.
Yeah, like the dialogue just is wonderful so far. It's so wonderful. And I also like how it constantly, story-wise, just completely like takes a left turn where you least expect it. Or like the thief comes out of nowhere and then she's just like, all right, gotta go, bye. And then the what seems to be the main female character of the cast is just like sees him getting beat the shit out of an alleyway and she's like, yeah, I gotta go, bye too. It's like, all right, awesome.
Yeah, left turns coming out of nowhere is pretty much a good mindset to get in.
Same thing, yeah, the same thing with like the back in time thing. I actually did not expect that at all in the series. I'll tell you, the biggest thing I didn't expect in the series though is for everyone to be a Livestrong fan. Like, I don't see the bracelets anywhere, but everyone's a huge fan of that movement. Like, just every time
I forgot about that.
Every time that somebody says that in the show, I just start looking at the wrist. Like, wait, really? You're a Livestrong dude?
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's the folks in the slums, right?
Yeah, all the people in the slums. It seems like that's something
Yeah.
that they say.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Because that, like, I can't remember the last time I even heard that, but
Oh man,
it's been a while.
the series is off the rails. This is what it is.
Wow,
Yeah.
fucking mind blown,
Yeah, it
by the
is.
way. Small World, apparently Livestrong Foundation that fights cancer, based in Austin, Texas. What do you know?
Hmm.
Oh man.
They're right next
Small
door.
world. Small Warudo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't comment on anything else about the show because I don't know anything else about it. Looks good so far. Looks hell of a lot better than SAO. SAO's first episode was a
like
fucking train wreck.
You'll come to learn that the ReZero is nothing like Sword Art Online.
Thank fucking goodness.
I'm
sorry. I'm just so mad with all these news announcements about Sword Art Online.
I go home and I come home and I get like notifications, like people are commenting. I'm like, please no, I don't want to deal with this.
Please, I don't want to get mad. I just came home from work. I don't feel like getting mad. I'm a little stressed. I just wanted to calm down for the day.
Yeah, because
no more Sword Art Online discussion.
Yeah, just after I saw your response to that one post on Facebook, like giving like 5 paragraphs to explain. No, you're not like it's not you're not necessarily in a
Look,
minority
I
for
can't-
thinking it's good.
Well, look,
Matt,
I'm not
you-
wrong.
Matt, you were a perfect politician in your answer. You're like, you're not necessarily wrong in enjoying the show because the vast
Yeah, and
majority of
it's-
the people actually apparently like the show.
It's like you're definitely not in a minority for liking the show. Here's why you're wrong. But
I like it too because you were so like nice and polite, and I could tell because I know your feelings on the show that you were just holding back, just holding it all back, so that that one person is not like, okay, well maybe I should just kill myself. Like, man.
Well, I don't want to fight a battle that I can't win. It's called fighting the ocean. I don't want to do that.
oh god,
Not right now. Not ready.
yeah. No, I saw it and I was like, you're a stronger man than I am.
Yeah.
You had the
man.
composition to actually, one, comment on that, and two, do so without just shitting on everyone. But
Yeah. I'm very good at doing that. That is a very honed skill of mine.
Well, you'll be
What a
perfect
shocker.
for your new job.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what it is like in a non-spoiler way? What do I have in store for me as far as ReZero?
oh my god.
Um,
A ride.
well, to be a little more descriptive, you've got
Yeah.
politics.
All right, cool.
Yeah, actually, a surprising amount of politics.
Okay, cool.
But
They,
I feel
they were
they're-
hinting at that a little bit in this show so far, just with like the 20 minutes I've seen.
yeah, it's really nice though because it's all very well thought out and structured, and the way that they have their systems of politics and debate and things like that are really
It's very structured.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it seemed
this
like
is-
there was a mild bit of racism towards elves, or something along the lines, which I thought was interesting. Most of the time,
half elves.
yeah, most of the people glorify that, and it's like I've only ever seen like in Dragon Age people actually comment something about elves or half elves, and that kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, that is significant.
There was
Yeah.
that.
It's super important.
I would assume because the slums were like in such a complete state of disrepair that there's some more interesting politics about the city and different things like that.
Yes.
So
I
they-
actually had that spoiled for me.
Oh, really?
because I started. The first episode I saw was episode 12, so I learned something.
God.
That,
I was
so
gonna
basically the whole
question-
first arc didn't matter to me. So
I was gonna question why you
Yeah.
started with episode 12, and I was like, "Oh right, that's probably because you were doing timing for it."
yeah, and it's just you read the script and it's there. Even if you don't watch the video, you read it. and-
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, cool. A lot of politics.
Suffering.
It's fucking wonderful.
A lot of existential dread. Yeah,
Um,
there's a whole lot of that.
It seems
really-
it seems like they tried to make some things a little bit more lighthearted, though. So I'm holding out that it's not going to be just a
That-
total dark train wreck.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Okay.
it balances itself.
Thank goodness.
It's
not an edge fest.
dips equally into some degree of lightheartedness, and then also to, oh my fucking god, please stop.
Yeah,
I
they-
can't take this right now.
So far in the first episode, they went dark real fast, and I was like, oh, okay, well, this is the kind of show we're going for. All right. Just like all of a sudden, nice comedic jokes. He goes into a building, and then it's just a scene from a horror film, and I'm just like, okay, all right. Well, like a couple people are dead, some people are in trouble. Well, okay, well, that's a good start. Good first episode.
Yeah. Some very well choreographed fight scenes.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty consistent with the quality of the show overall in terms of animation. Like, I can't really think off the top of my head of any particular like quality scenes.
There isn't much quality at all.
Yeah, so
It's really weird. White Fox recently has like done really well in all their shows. I don't know what's going on or what kind of staff they're holding under themselves.
You know, I thought it was interesting. I was watching, because right before watching ReZero, I was actually watching the OVA for Under the Dog.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, I guess, no, I think it said White Lotus. I don't think it said White Fox. Maybe I'm getting that confused. It was like I thought it said that White Fox had like something to do with the project, and I was like, that's
it's
weird.
It's possible. I mean, let's see. The animation studios that worked on Under the Dog were Cinema Citrus and Orange, ironically.
Citrus and Orange. Wow.
Yeah. So Orange is like, I think they're like half CGI, and I think the last CGI show that they did was not great, but
I'd also like to point out, by the way, that the show, right, the last show that that White Fox did before RE0 is The Order of Rabbit.
Yeah. They have a pretty varied backlog. Like, they did like they do a bunch of weird shows.
Went from really nice, like, cute girls doing cute things, slice of life, to like to this show.
They did Utawari Mono, and I think they did Katana Gatari as well. So,
that was weird. That was like on the same exact time.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Under the Dog, I liked a lot.
I plan to watch it fairly soon.
Dare
I have dude, I'm moving right now. I don't have time for this shit. Unfortunately. I barely have time for this as is.
Okay. Yeah, no, but like Under the Dog, actually it was enjoyable. It's like they don't explain much of what's going on, but that's fine because they only have like 30 minutes to work with.
Mm-hmm.
So but what they used that 30 minutes really well, I think. It introduced a world that's very interesting and wanted me and I wanted to see more.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, I realized they only kickstarted one episode. Hopefully, they'll be picked up, or they'll like try to Kickstarter for more or something like that.
Yeah, because I was gonna say it's technically just like an episode 0 that they put out, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I noticed that Dami Desu Yo, like somebody in your staff,
a lot of people got really mad about that. Don't.
Like, well, there was like one dude was like defending it and saying it's just one episode, it's supposed to be a long series, like, but they clearly stated from the beginning that it's just going to be one episode. But they also clearly stated that they were hoping to do more.
Yeah.
And he was right, because I backed this when it first started, and that's exactly what they said in their Kickstarter video.
Yeah, we had a big discussion about it in staff when we were working on it.
I don't know why people were like flipping their shit. That like there was like, it fucking sucks. It's only one episode. Stupid bullshit because it didn't explain anything. Well, that's not the point.
Yeah, it's just that it's an OVA right now to just show like, hey, this is the kind of world that we want to build or whatever.
I guess people were going in thinking it was going to be like a Little Witch Academia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Where it's very
I guess I can understand. Right.
Yeah.
I guess I can kind of understand that approach to it.
I mean, I personally thought it wasn't too bad. Like, I don't think it was great, or like it wasn't gonna save anime.
No.
But it was okay.
Yeah, it was fun.
I'd watch more.
It was fun, and I was very intrigued by the world and like the story that they were setting up. So I felt I got my money's worth by backing the project.
I think a lot of people just they got a little too hooked on the PV, and then they saw it was nothing like the PV, and they were like, "Oh my god, everything's different."
Yeah, I guess that is true, because like the main character that they show in the well, it's not that different from the PV actually. But the main character that they show in the PV was actually only in the episode, spoiler, for like I want to say like 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't that. It was like, I think we totaled up, it was like 8 minutes.
Yeah. But that's still...
We did a lot of research.
That's still fine. What I got, I enjoyed. So I'm not gonna flip my shit. That wasn't exactly what I expected.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was that bad. So... Yeah. It wasn't a train wreck. They could have done a little better with animating their CGI vehicles.
Yeah, that and like some of the close-up shots of the like the U.S. military, were a little. I even took a picture of it. They were a little iffy sometimes.
Yeah.
But I do got to give a shout out that like for the most part, except for some lines in the episode, for the most part, all of the American English that they were speaking was really well done.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Only complaint I really had was it was a little stiff sometimes, but that's okay. I don't really,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter that much. But it was overall pretty good. Pretty good.
By the way, I'm also really, really mad that I didn't back it for the soundtrack, because that soundtrack is fucking sick.
The leader of our group, he put $100 towards the Kickstarter.
Ooh.
Damn.
Yeah, he put a lot of money towards it, so he defended it pretty hard.
I noticed. But yeah, no, like I have to say that the music that they had for that, they got an American dude to do it, or is he Australian? I think he's Australian. But Kevin Penkin, he did a really good job. It's like this really nice, like big sound of like a classical orchestra mixed with some really nice like electronic bass and lower end notes, and it sounded really cool. I like it a lot.
That does sound nasty.
Yeah.
I can get behind that. Have my vote, Senator.
Yeah, I was super excited to hear some of that, and some of the music that he had for like the backers while they were making it. You know what I also backed that I wanted to talk about? Cannon Busters. I mean, technically it's Korean, but it's from a studio that makes Japanese anime.
Oh, right. Yeah, Cannon Busters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you showing us that. Yeah, that was... I really did enjoy I enjoyed what they put out so far. I thought it was a pretty fun little romp for first little preview. Hey, this is what we're doing, kind of thing.
Dude, it was just fun. The whole time I was like, oh, I'm getting so many like giddy flashbacks to like old.
It just felt like it felt like a refreshing nod to Cowboy Bebop.
Yes, like Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, and like classic late '90s shows that were fun like that. That didn't take themselves too seriously.
Yes, and I love that about it. Just I mean like it's hard for me to find a show these days where it's like you have, I don't know, like a straight-faced robot that like takes everything at face value and is always like
yeah, like whenever she she extends her hand to like greet the person that she just met, and then they like fall over dead, and then she extends her hand again because she thinks that they didn't hear her. That was funny.
It's hard for me to find a show where like that won't make me like roll my eyes right now, but they did a really good job with the characters.
And most shows that don't take themselves seriously are just slice of life. They're not like actiony or fun or anything like that. They're just like a little romp through some slice of life story. Like this was a big actiony thing with an interesting world so far that we've seen of it.
Yeah, it's got a whole lot of irons in the fire.
Yeah. Yeah, I was very happy watching that. That was fun.
I'll have to check it out.
I thought you watched it.
I didn't watch it. I just...
You motherfucker.
I was watching everything else, man.
That's true. I barely got through. I got through 4 episodes of almost everything on my list except for Love Live Sunshine. I only got through like 2 of Love Live.
I am super behind on Summer, but I've got through basically everything I wanted to watch for spring.
I'm caught up right now.
Congratulations.
So you've watched like 20 shows?
I've only watched... Okay, I'm only watching 9 currently.
Only.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to trigger you, Matt.
I guess 10 if you count ReZero. But like Bananya doesn't count.
I don't know what you're talking about. Bananya is fantastic. Zach, have you seen Bananya?
Of course I've seen Bananya.
Now, let me ask the most important question. Have you seen the joke version of Bananya?
I have heard of the joke version of Bananya. I have not seen it.
If you have what's on Matt's server, you have the joke version of Bananya.
Okay, well I don't have that. I watched it through other means. I got it. I downloaded it myself.
So
that's okay.
I don't know who was it that did. Oh, Ampersand.
Yeah,
I guess it's just the name of the group. They did a version of Bananya where they replaced all of the subtitles in audio, and it's just fucking fantastic. It's so great because like they keep the original audio, but then they just keep adding in like little nods to like different memes and just funny shit. Oh, so good. And there's a lot of apparently the house that Bananya lives in is just the crib, and they got a lot of hoes and gangs that are just chilling there.
Yeah.
It's so
I always felt that Bananya had something deeper beneath the surface.
You wouldn't know, but
like you just got to peel back the layer, and then there's the sweet goodness inside.
Dude, Bananya loves some LSD, by the way.
There.
I'm so glad you reminded me of that because I remember hearing you guys talk about that, and I was like, "What did I miss?"
Yeah, it was legit not what I expected, but I'm kind of glad someone did it.
I found out about it accidentally because I was trying to watch it on my Plex server since I was at work and I had nothing to do, and it just automatically loaded the joke version of Bananya, and I thought it was the actual show for a little bit there until all of a sudden they just put a little clip of where the hood at, and I was like, oh, okay, this is a meme version of the show.
I didn't even know that version existed. I could have watched the entire show and not known that existed.
Oh,
it's like
so
it's the version that nobody asked for, but people are eternally grateful for.
Yeah.
It's not the version we needed, but it's the version we deserve. Oh,
yeah, when
so
Kyle
funny,
talked
man.
about it, I was like, what? And
Yeah, the first thing I asked.
No.
The first thing I asked him was because like I saw it was where they replaced like Bananya's just flipping through the channels, and they replaced a bunch of birds that are all taking off in a group with like a parody version of a horse race where all the horses' names are like like the horses' names are like "fuck you, I'm taking the house, and you will never see the kids again." And it's just like, "and you will never see the kids again, taking up the rear, and fuck you in first place."
Oh my god!
And I was like, and immediately I messaged over to Matt, and I was like, Matt, did this air on television? Like, was this direct to internet, or did this actually air like this? And he was like, what? And I'm like, I can't imagine that this actually aired like this. He had no idea what I was talking about until I figured out that there was an alternative subtitle track.
Yeah,
you know, it's just the stationery company has to do something to get their product out.
They want people to be watching. They needed to spice it up in some way.
I mean, the concept of a cat nana wasn't enough, apparently.
Which we originally see in a banana tree in space.
Right. You're not wrong. You know, with the Metal Gear theme in the background. Or whatever. I don't know what was going on there.
Oh, yeah.
Bananya to surpass Metal Gear.
Pretty much.
So good. What else can we talk about? Oh, speaking of so good, Sakamoto, Desuga.
Oh my god. What? Isn't he just the coolest?
He's cool. He's cooler. He's the coolest.
He does everything stylish.
I took so many screenshots of him in just like he's drinking like a wine glass in the school pool at sunset. Oh gosh.
Oh, during the end credits?
Yeah, during the end credits.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
And then like there's that one episode where like his best friend, like his mom falls in love with Sakamoto.
Oh Christ, because he looks like that Korean drama star.
Yeah, and so Sakamoto, I have so many pictures of him hiding in the most ridiculous situations. Like he's Spider Monkey up on the fucking walls, and then he's hiding in a jacket that's hanging on the wash.
I'm pretty sure I knew from the moment in the first episode when he was doing that dance by the fire. And he got the rest of the thugs to join it. I knew from that moment I had stumbled onto something amazing.
I was a little confused because he starts dancing by the fire, and like the inner monologue of one of the thugs is, he's trying to put it out by giving it oxygen, and I'm like, that's not how you put out a fire.
He's trying to create a wind current by dancing, and I'm like, this can't fucking work, right? This can't work.
And it just turns out, since they were underneath the teacher's office, he was just trying to get their attention. Oh man, that is a funny show. I'm only 4 episodes in, and I've just died and gone to heaven. Like this, I'm laughing too hard.
It gets more ridiculous if you can believe that.
You can't even begin to imagine the heights that this show goes to.
You can't.
Like, Jesus Christ, Matt, the video store.
Oh, the video store one. Oh my god. That was funny
to look forward
as
to, because I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
I just... It just... I love the show so much because it knows exactly its kind of humor that's going for. Like, it has its set shtick for the humor, and it hones in on it, and it is relentless.
It's a show
in its
that
brand of humor.
It's amazing because as you watch it, you think you have him figured out. You think you do.
Oh my
and
god!
Then you don't.
Oh man. Oh, I'm so excited to get through the rest of that show.
You literally like go into each episode and think, what the fuck is he gonna do this?
I love it too, because there's typically a pause before the punchline, and so even though they're rapid fire coming at you like every 10 seconds, there's typically a small pause before the punchline where you're like, where is this gonna go? And then I've never guessed it ever. I have no idea what he's doing.
Yeah, because
you're not gonna figure it out.
There's absolutely no way you're gonna be prepared for like oh Jesus Christ, like the dude, the guy that turns into a comedian.
Oh yeah, and he tries to do the whole Japanese shtick of like a straight man and the funny man.
Yeah,
and so he like,
but just like as one person.
Yeah. And then he just for the rest of the show he's just walking around because he's supposed to be his own funny guy, so he's just walking around in his boxers the rest of the show.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's I love how consistent it is with its goofs, because if it does something in one episode, then the rest of the series, like it carries on with that. It has a good sense of continuity, even though it's a gag show, which
it's really strange for gag shows to have that kind of continuity.
No, typically I've only seen that in shows like Nichijou that are just very clever and like keep that consistently going on. That or like in American television, there's stuff like Adventure Time, which even the strangest and weirdest thing that happens, they still continue to reference back to even 5 seasons later. It's very rare for a comedy show to do that, especially in anime.
Yeah, because it's usually just like a one-off, and it's like, okay, well,
it's a gag.
Well, let's move on.
We're gonna move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I really liked how the characters developed in Sakamoto.
Yeah.
Like they kept making the cast bigger, and I'm like, no, these aren't side characters anymore. I thought these were side characters.
Turns out they're not.
These are actual characters.
Oh, okay.
So that's a good show.
Yeah, it was kind of seriously a sleeper hit for me. Like going in, I didn't think it was going to be like
nothing.
Yeah, because I thought, reading the preface, I was like, okay, well, this sounds, kind of funny. Okay, whatever. But it just, ooh boy, it threw me for a loop.
I read
10 out of 10, best show.
I read the manga in.
Did you?
The bookstore, like just the first volume, like the first couple chapters. I just read through it, so I kind of knew what the first episode was going to be like, but I knew what kind of humor it was going to be going for. So I was like, I'll give the anime a shot. This will be pretty funny, and it turns out it was way funnier than I expected. So I laughed hard.
Another sleeper hit for me was Amanchu, which is still going on. Because I didn't know anything about it, and then I read a synopsis and I was like, all right, it's a show about scuba stuff, and it's not like super funny, but for some reason all of like the characters like faces and like reactions and stuff like that are just fantastic to me. They make me smile every time.
Oh yeah, because I'm pretty sure I remember I was watching the first episode and I messaged you guys and I was like, I'm not kidding, literally half of the show, like the faces are circles and triangles and I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. And then the I can't remember her name, but the one chick that likes scuba diving like to an incredibly unhealthy degree. She cracks me up all the time. I'm gonna figure that out so that I don't look silly.
Oh yeah, like I've only seen the first episode of it so far.
Oh really? Man, you're in for a treat then, because like it keeps that consistent funny and just weird face thing going the whole time.
Yeah, like literally, I think the only show from summer season that I've seen more than one episode of is Sweetness and Lightning. That's the only one that
I haven't seen that at all. What is that one about?
You've seen have you seen Usagi Drop?
I know of it, but I haven't seen it.
Okay, so basically, like it's kind of along those lines, but in this one, it's more like this father is raising his daughter. She's like 3-ish, thereabouts, I think. But he recently lost his wife, like what is it, Matt, like 6 months ago or something like that?
Yeah, it's pretty recent, but yeah, basically he's trying to like raise her, and I don't really know the whole backstory, but somehow like he meets this, he's a teacher at a high school.
Yeah, I'm reading the synopsis and it says that like he goes to some convenience store where like his student, her mother owns the convenience store, and so she's just
well, and it's not a convenience store actually.
Oh, is it not? Okay.
Like it's a restaurant.
Oh right, it says restaurant here. Sorry.
Yeah, like one of his students, her mother is like a professional chef or something of that nature.
Yeah.
And she's out and about fairly often. So basically, he would often get like convenience store food for his daughter. But it's like he wanted to
do something more for her. So
yeah. So
he basically hires her as like.
He doesn't really hire her. He just meets her, and
then she just starts doing this.
Yeah, they're both lonely, so they go over to her place to eat, and they fix food. And
I just want to point out, I'm actually quite glad, because he's supposed to be like what, 40, and she's like in high school. I'm quite glad I do not see a romance tag for the genres of this show.
Yeah, there is. I've watched 4 episodes, 5 episodes, maybe. I don't know how many are out. 5. Yeah. There's no romance at all.
Thank goodness.
That's really good, because
Japan can be a little weird.
I'm just saying, after reading the full manga of Usagi Drop, I'm really happy that is not a thing for the show.
Wait, Usagi Drop has a thing about that?
I don't know. Only Zach knows, and I'm a little concerned.
Okay.
It just
don't read the manga. Apparently,
I mean, I wouldn't say don't read the manga. I still think it's just really not what I was expecting. It took turns that I didn't think were going to happen, but that's a different discussion for a different time.
Oh, I finally figured out what that girl's name is from Amanchu, by the way. It's Hikari, although I think she goes by her own nickname that she gives herself.
Isn't it like Pulm or something?
It's like Beko. Or no, that's the other girl.
Yeah, Teko is what is the nickname she gives the other girl, whose real name is Futaba? Yeah, Futaba.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like Itaki or something like that. I do know that I think it's intentional, but Hikari like just reminds me of a frog the whole time. I don't know what it is, but it seems like she's kind of channeling her inner spirit animal of a frog.
Yeah, like the facial expressions.
Yeah, the facial expressions and stuff like that, and like and sometimes she'll like make weird gecko, like weird noises like that, and I'm like, is she supposed to be a frog?
Yeah, she's a little weird.
Which I love. I love that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Amanchu's okay.
I've only seen like one episode so far, but like I wasn't like super into it, but it's definitely caught me up to where I'll watch more of that.
I'll keep watching it. I don't know, like I don't have any problems with it. I don't know. It gets kind of boring sometimes.
I think I only like it because I have like this small little place in my heart for slice of life shows in general.
Yeah. You're watching. You watched Flying Witch, didn't you? Like.
Oh gosh, Flying Witch I enjoy. I've watched about 6 episodes of it. It's just nothing. Literally nothing happens.
I almost fell asleep during like episode 5 or 6. I don't like when you talk about sleeper hits. I don't think that's what you mean.
But like legit though, it's not like I'm sure some people would find it boring as hell. And it's not even, there's not even that much comedy to keep it going. I have to say probably the only reason why I even continue to watch it is because I think it's interesting that they have these mild elements of magic. And her as a witch, she like flies around on a broom and stuff like that.
That's the most interesting part.
That's the most interesting part, and there's barely any of that in the show.
I know.
But like it's like small little bits of that I enjoy. And then the fact that the entire show in general is just one of the prettiest things I've seen. That's like the only thing keeping me going at this point.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say like, it's definitely a show that I want to watch per se because I've only seen the first episode, and I will agree with you, Kyle. Like I liked it a lot. I really liked the aesthetic of the show and things of that nature, and the kind of like mood and tone it was creating for it, but after the episode was over, like I had a bunch more ready, and I was like, I don't know, like I like this, but not right now. Like to me, it feels like the kind of show that I would watch like on a really cold winter day, and I would just like curl up in a blanket with like a cup of tea and just like marathon through it.
Oh yeah, that sounds perfect.
It feels like a really comfy show.
That's exactly what it's supposed to be. Yeah.
So
I'm trying to think.
Like having a pleasant conversation with friends.
Yeah.
Which nothing really happens.
And it's a very different slice of life than the other slice of life I picked up. Well, Amanchu, but New Game from the summer.
Yes.
New Game has a lot more like humor in it, which I think definitely plays to its strength. It's all right.
Yeah.
I like New Game.
It's fun so far. There's nothing special about it, but it's fun.
Yeah, like
the characters are fun and they're pretty well animated. So
But if you've seen any other kind of like cute girls doing cute things in like a like nerdy sort of club scenario sort of thing, then you've also seen this show.
The only other thing is just that like they do show some small things about how game design actually works, but they're so fucking small and brief. Like and they're not really the focus of the show, unlike something like Shirobako, which showed like how the industry actually works from the inside out, like quite effectively. No, this show shows you a few things about game design art and like a few tiny bits of animation, and that's about it. At least so far. I've only seen like 4 episodes, but I mean that's a fourth of the show.
Yeah. I mean it's nice. I just like watching the animation. It's very animated, so it's much better than watching other slice of life shows just like it, because it kind of makes it feel alive and not just like It's a comedy show. I mean, it is a comedy show, but it's not just gag comedy like with words. It's like got visuals to it. So the presentation's better.
Yeah.
It is, yes.
And the characters, while a little stereotypical, are nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they feel fleshed out in their own distinct ways.
Mm-hmm.
So I do appreciate that.
Man, I'll tell you one I don't appreciate though. Netoge.
Oh man.
Did you end up finishing it?
No, I dropped it.
Oh, right, that's right.
I got like 4 episodes in, and I was like, "Yep, fucking done."
I forgot about that conversation.
Oh, it's like they kept on having some things about the show that I'm like, well, this might be interesting, and then they like resolve it real quick and just don't even look back on it again, and I'm like, wow, this show is just not that good.
It could have been better.
It could have been a lot better. It didn't really do anything terribly special with its subject material.
No,
it could have, but it didn't.
What's the full name? Netoge no Yome. I'm gonna butcher that, but you thought
just
there was...
don't even bother with the full name. It's not worth it.
Netoge no Yome wa Onnanoko janai to Omotta.
And you thought there is never a girl online. Apparently,
yeah, something of that nature.
I thought it was a little nice that it had some tongue-in-cheek nods about like stereotypes with online gaming, such as the fact that like he refuses to marry the chick at first because he's like the last person that I tried to marry turned out to be a dude in game, and it like scarred him. And then it turns out she's a real girl in real life. Then it turns out literally everyone he's ever met online is a girl, and he's like, well, this isn't right statistically speaking. It's like there's fun little tongue-in-cheek nods like that, but they're so, I don't know, it's like they're so small and used as a gag rather than like the base of the show and what it's about, that I just got bored with it, because like the rest of the time I'm dealing with characters I just give no shits about. I just don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care about any of them.
Yeah, it's like a lot of the time, like you're kind of saying that the humor is very much like, hey, this is a joke about X aspect of online gaming. Get it?
Yeah, they're like, look how self-aware
Like,
we are.
Somebody... Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't know.
Oh, I was just going to say, a lot of people were saying that this show would have been better 10 years ago.
No, I think that's absolutely fair to say. Like,
yeah, when this wasn't kind of played out.
Right.
Yeah, when we haven't seen like 1.5 million MMO or things, game MMO shit, you know?
Like all the ones we talked about earlier. Sword Art Online, like Dungeon technically is MMO-ish.
Yeah.
I
don't know why it was MMO-ish. That didn't make any sense.
No. Here's the thing. I fucking guarantee you, if SAO did not come out, you would not think the Dungeon was MMO-ish.
No, I'd still think Dungeon is MMO-ish.
A little,
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit. Maybe not, like, I don't know.
It directly sets itself up as an MMO with leveling, with class system, and everything else.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
They even specifically in the show call it leveling. And they're like,
well,
oh, you're level 2 now. And I'm like, what the fuck is this, an MMO?
And it didn't indicate it was a game at all. It's
No,
just
it
like
said
that they were
it's its
using
own
MMO
fantasy
settings.
world.
And I was like, what the fuck is this shit, mate?
Matt, what the fuck did you just do?
I don't know.
No, yeah, it's like, for Netoge, it'd be so much better if it just was either more self-aware or if it just was better written. I just don't care. And like,
I feel like if it got any more self-aware, it would be like it would be like a scary level of meta.
Which would be great. I would love to watch that.
We don't need
like
that.
some weirdly existential meta kind of commentary on
Like-
online gaming.
What was
Like,
that one show?
they're playing the online game, but they're in a game too. Like their life is a game.
God.
What was that
Like-
one show with the with the one chick with like bags under her eyes? And
Watamate.
yeah, Watamate. Like, I would be completely fine if this was a Watamate where it's constantly making fun of me watching the show. Like, that's fantastic. I would love to see that. it made me uncomfortable watching Watamate that it constantly was calling me out as a piece of shit. But hey, at least it was clever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like. I feel like Dungeon and Netoge and things of this nature have kind of sort of been like.
It has now been done to death in like the 3 years it's happened.
Yeah.
And
It's like MMO stuff has kind of been like the flavor of the season for like 12 seasons.
Yeah, it's kind of like whenever who was it, Activision and somebody else were constantly battling against each other, and we had new music games in the game industry every 6 months.
Yeah.
Literally every 6 months there was a new music game. And a lot of them were just repeats of the same Guitar Hero bullshit. So like even when a decent game came out, like Rock Band 3, or like I would even argue DJ Hero was kind of fun, like no one gave a shit about them because everyone was like, we're done. We don't want any more.
It's played out, y'all.
And
Please
that's
quit.
exactly what I see going on with all of these freaking MMO shows. There's so many of them that I just can't quite care about any of them.
Yeah, but it like that. It's just the thing though. It's like like Netoge had some potential, and I really would have liked to have seen them go a little further with talking about like online and offline identity and how those overlap and such, because it always feels like, you know, like that's the fucking mantra, you know, of the show, you know. It's always like the
so
reality
close.
and the game are separate, blah, blah, blah. And you hear that over and over and over
So
again.
close.
But there's always like, you know, with Akko, you know, she's pushing back against that, and that, you know, they are, you know, one and the same to her. And it's just like they're always like, it always feels like they're skirting right around some sort of like weird revelation or compromise or like overlap of the two ideas, and they just don't do jack shit with it.
Yep.
And I'm like, guys, you could have made some really interesting observation here, and you just did nothing.
And the part where I dropped it was when they put that entire whole like skirting that on the complete fucking back burner, and just started this whole little arc of like Akko being jealous of like some other girl. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm done. It was like you were trying, it's like you almost found the Matrix and you realized that you were in it, and then you saw a pretty girl and we're just like, oh, never mind, I'm not going to worry about that.
Oh, and fun fact, that gets resolved within like 5 minutes of the next episode.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it was going to stretch out that long. I just didn't care.
That's basically this whole show. Like, there's drama at the end of one episode, and it gets resolved pretty much instantly.
The good old cliffhanger 5-minute resolution.
Yeah. It was kind of funny, outside of anime, Zach, that I saw that in Stranger Things for one episode. I was like, that's weird. I didn't expect them to resolve it that quickly.
Yeah.
But no, like in anime, they do that a lot, actually. There's, well, not in general, I have noticed multiple shows that have done something like that.
I was gonna say it's a little dangerous to make that kind of.
Yeah. I don't want to make a sweeping statement about all anime is this way. I'm just saying I've noticed multiple shows that have done that. I'm like, that's kind of odd.
All anime is shit.
I mean, like, you can really say that about just like any kind of drama-based show in general.
True.
Not that
A lot of poorly done
drama-based.
drama-based shows.
I mean, like,
they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, it's like looking at like a telenovela or something like that. That's like the bread and butter of what makes up that whole genre.
Netoge is a telenovela.
But I am sleeping with your wife. Dun, dun, dun.
God.
Yeah, so I dropped Netoge. I meant to finish it before we started the podcast, but I needed to get through like 50 million other things because for some reason I decided to watch this first. Kiznaiver.
Just don't finish it.
I'm gonna finish. No. I am gonna finish Kiznaiver. Holy shit, dude! Within one episode, I was on that show.
I'll fight you on this. I'll fight anyone on this. Kiznaiver's Trigger's best show.
No, I think so far of the 4 episodes that I've
down.
seen, the pacing, the story, the concept, the characters, everything is fucking spot on with this show. Yeah. Like, I could not ask for a better show out of Trigger so far that they've made.
it really feels like the culmination of all their efforts and kind of experiments, so far, whether it's, OVAs they've put out or, their actual series. It's such a well-rounded show. And, like for a character-driven drama, god damn, do they nail it. They perfectly flesh out every single character in the show. You definitely feel a connection with the characters, which, I mean, should be the point, because that's the point of the show.
And I would argue that while some of them skirt stereotypes, what I find interesting is that it's very aware of that. And like it even states within the show where it's like the 7 deadly sins, it's like this whole concept of like these are the modern 7 deadly sins, the 7 deadly like characteristics of humanity, that they specifically chose these people because they knew none of these people would ever get along. And it's very aware that like while it starts with these characters that are sort of stereotypy, they end up not being that like that as the show goes on. Like the first episode, they kind of set them up to be that way. And then they develop really well so far over the 4 episodes I've seen as it continues. I love it.
Yeah, and
love it.
And a nice aspect of that is like they actually do address at some point. It's like, yeah, they aren't actually these things that we've set them up to be. Like they actually go on to acknowledge, yeah, I mean, like these are kind of a part of these people, but they're not the defining aspect of them per se.
Yeah.
And I deeply appreciated the very multifaceted levels of characterization they had in the show.
Yeah, the writer, the series comp, whatever. It's basically the writer. She's very good at doing that. She's very good at drama. She wrote. She was in the same role for Sakura, so she did a lot the.
Oh my god!
Really?
Well, like everything makes sense now.
Yeah,
that kind of drama. Yeah, any kind of romance drama shows like Toradora or Sakura, Mario Kata is who I'm talking about. She's very good at doing that. She's very good at character-oriented drama, and she'll make you feel things.
Yeah, it shows.
Yeah, it was like I liked Toradora. It was kind of fun. Sakura was a fucking ride. And like it's very character driven, and all the characters in that show are just fascinating to me.
I bought a canoe for the show because I couldn't get out of my tears.
And then,
that show is literally tear inducing.
Yeah, and then now
are you doing your fucking timing tests on that show?
I don't ever want to see episode like 22 ever again. Every time I would like try to grade tests, and it's like I'm just crying, and I'm like, please make me stop.
I don't want to time this show anymore. I want to get off Mr. Bowen's wild ride.
I don't want to feel anymore.
Yeah, like that makes sense to me why Kiznaiver is just so good so far. Like that writer, she is just knocking this out of the fucking park.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So that's really good to know.
I am super excited to see what's coming next then. I'll also say, I will say, as much as like the drama is just so well written, I guess that writer really knows what they're doing, because like, even though I would be crying in Sakura, I would also be laughing at the same time sometimes. Like they do that writer, she does a really good job of like combining those elements of like knows exactly what to do in order to make things lighthearted or make you laugh, and it's like you're still laughing even through your tears. It was. I'm very excited to see what's going on with Kiznaiver now, because like I'm sure I'm in for a ride if that's the case.
I'm pretty much with Zach. I think it is Trigger's best show. Like there's no way it couldn't be. I've highly enjoyed it.
Like I deeply appreciate basically every other thing that Trigger has put out, but they've really hit their peak with this, or their peak as of now, anyways. Currently.
So, what else have you guys been watching?
What else?
So I think I'm the only one that watched it, but I watched Boku no Hero Academia. In spring season.
I haven't seen that.
For
yeah, talk about it a little bit.
For like it looked pretty fun per se. Just kind of like you know, it didn't sound like anything super special. You know, it's a shonen, you know, power battle kind of thing, coming of age kind of story.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, you know, the thing was, you know, special thing is like 80% or so of the world's population has superpowers or quirks, they're called. And our, you know, beloved protagonist wasn't born with one. And so, you know, but he wants to be a superhero. And so they, you know, he works to, you know, still be a superhero, even though he doesn't have a quirk or whatever. For kind of just like a you know, just your standard like shonen superpower action comedy kind of thing going on, I felt like it got a lot of really good characterization going in it. It's super funny, but it's actually like really heartfelt and touching. And I wasn't really expecting that out of the show. Like, I was kind of just expecting like, oh, okay, you know, I can kind of like kick back and not think too much while watching this and just have fun. And I did, but you know, it also brings up a lot of it just kind of like refined the shonen sort of thing for me. Like, I think it was Studio Bones that did the show.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super fun. It's got me really hyped for season 2, honestly, which I think comes out next season, actually.
Oh, so they are absolutely getting a season 2?
That doesn't really surprise me. Boku Hero Academia is basically one of the next big 3 of the industry. So
what? Really?
It kind of replaced, like, when I talk about the big 3, I'm talking about like Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece.
Yeah.
Really?
So it's got very big sales in Japan. The manga did.
I had no idea.
So the new big 3, what everyone's calling the new big 3, are Boku Hero Academia, One Piece, and Assassination Classroom.
Assassination Classroom? Really?
That's still going?
Yeah, so that actually is another big seller in Japan.
Huh.
Like, I know it's been around for a while and it's been fairly popular, but I didn't know that it was like still chugging along.
Yeah.
Like, it's just kind of been in like the periphery of my, okay, I know this exists sort of thing.
I still haven't seen that much about it just because I haven't managed to sit down and watch it. And when it came out, I was like, all right, well, it seems interesting and unique in its own right, but I just kind of passed it up at the time because I had a bunch of other stuff I wanted to get through.
Mm-hmm.
Now
it got a second season too. So, and it was a second season. I don't know if it's really a second season or not.
Well, the first season's apparently 22 episodes, so it's a 2-core in its own.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's really cool though. That I think is pretty cool because, like, from what you've been explaining of Boku no Hero, I feel like, because typically when you hear about like Naruto, One Piece, and stuff like that, and it's not to say that those shows are like the worst thing in the world or anything like that, but they're like kind of run of the mill. They're okay. I wouldn't say that they're like incredibly amazing or anything like that. Nice starter anime for a lot of people. I'm glad to see that like that's kind of changing of sorts. In that, like, Boku no Hero or like Assassination Classroom are very unique, very different, and they, at least from what I've seen of both of them, they seem to be like a little bit more well written than I would say like Naruto, which is just the new DBZ. That's really all it is, and it like a lot of the plot lines and different things like that are just straight up ripped from DBZ in a lot of ways.
Like I wouldn't say that, you know, Boku no Hero Academia necessarily does anything like super groundbreaking.
No,
per se.
Yeah.
But yeah, like again, yeah, I guess it's kind of like a refinement of the shonen genre. Yeah, it's
That's
just
good.
it does what it does well.
I'm also glad to see stuff actually be replacing other stuff as the big three.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I mean, with Shippuden finally wrapping up and like Bleach ended like within the last year or two, I think.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I
Yeah,
didn't
but
even
then we've
realize
got
that was still a
Boruto
thing.
coming now.
Both of those have happened and recently, probably
Yeah.
within the past year or so.
Yeah, but then we've got Boruto coming out now, and then One Piece is never going to end.
I don't think One Piece is going to end.
Like, no, legitimately, like, I swear to God, within the last probably 2 years, I'm sure I heard about an interview with the author, and he said, yeah, I wouldn't mind, writing Luffy and the gang, sailing for another 10 years. I don't know.
How could you write that much?
I don't know.
Like,
but the show's around 600 or 700 episodes already.
I mean, I guess that's true.
Yeah, the manga's
What's
been around
another
for
600,
almost 20
700?
years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
that's also true. So, I mean, hey, I guess if he can keep writing, go for it.
I guess. I mean,
Oh, car
just
chase
think,
outside my
maybe
window.
like
I
a
hope-
decade from now, One Piece will still be in the big three.
You know what I hope? I hope that this is all just building towards a big gag. This is what's going to happen when it ends. I want to see a compilation volume of every manga volume. And it comes out in one piece. Just
Oh
the
my
whole
God.
book. I hope that's the end
Matt,
of this joke.
stop.
Like, that's what I want to see. I want to see,
Matt,
like,
it would
this
be the size of a house.
I don't care. Like, if that's what he's going towards, I mean, you got to shoot for the heavens.
Either that
But
or
I wish you wouldn't take that so literally. But yeah,
I would love to see like One Piece end just like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy or like Sherlock Holmes or something like that. Where like the author's been writing this for so long, he's so fucking sick of his characters, he just kills them all off. And he's like, all right, that's the ending. Fuck you. I would love to see that. It would be great.
oh my god, there would be so much anger.
I mean, that's putting it pretty lightly, I
That would be
think.
Oh my
so
God.
great though. I mean, I couldn't stay mad at him for like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That was just really funny how he killed them all off. I couldn't stay mad. They could probably
Yeah,
do
but
something like
imagine
that
if
to
you were
One
following
Piece.
the show for 30 years.
I mean, granted, Sherlock Holmes, yeah, he had to reboot the character because everybody got really mad he killed him off. But hey, you could probably do it.
I mean, who knows? You never know.
So what else? What else has been going
What
on?
else?
Has anybody seen Mob Psycho yet?
I've seen the first episode so far.
I'm caught up. So
Oh, really?
yeah.
I'm
mean,
gonna be honest.
He did say he's caught up with everything so
I'm gonna
far.
be honest. I have no idea what Mob Psycho 100 is even about.
It's about like the most awesome animation ever. I literally have no shits given towards the plot, but watching it is awesome.
Oh, really?
To me, it kind of feels like,
It feels like I went to an animator art show and I'm just watching it.
yeah, the animation for me is the biggest thing. I don't care too much about the story so far. It seems sort of negligible, but it seems like, to me, like the thing that immediately comes to mind if I had to describe the plot is sort of like, think of it as kind of like a derivation of like Yu Yu Hakusho, Spirit Detective, and that like he's hunting spirits and ghosties, but it's like, it's not like a super shonen style. It's not taking itself like that seriously at all, it seems.
The frickin' schools are named after like condiments.
All right, but I mean,
Like,
even
oh,
DBZ
God.
has done something like that. Granted, DBZ never took itself too seriously either. That sounds interesting. That like it's kind of, I don't know. I haven't seen anything of the animation, so I literally have nothing
Oh
to go
my
off.
God,
of
how have you not?
I haven't. I've had my nose to the grindstone with a bunch of other shit I've had to do.
Oh yeah, this is way in your wheelhouse, buddy.
Oop.
You're gonna love this.
Accidentally started a music. Had to mute it. Okay, so I'll just be watching the PV. You guys go on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Go watch the OP. That'll give you a better indication
Yeah.
of the anime.
Check out the link that Matt posted earlier in Slack for the not trash version.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Like literally the link that says not garbage version, I think.
Matt, I love you.
Hey, that's the only version that was not garbage. It was right.
Right.
Something that was interesting. Mayoiga.
Oh, okay. We can talk about Mayoiga for a minute.
Yeah, I still
kind of liked it.
I liked it too. I just wanna double back and make sure.
Mayoiga, that's the Kickstarter
was one that got.
right?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. That was one that was kickstarted, correct?
Yes,
or crowdfunded in some way.
That was the crowdfunded anime.
Okay.
It's weird because Dio Media did all the animation, but it's mostly PA Works staff that worked on it.
Huh.
So.
Yeah. So they just
the
hired a bunch of PA Works stuff to do it?
Looks like they just wanted like a bunch of people that just weren't working on anything. They were just like, hey, you want to do something? And they were like, sure. And then they went and asked, it's really funny because the same person that's doing the writing for Kiznaiver also worked on Mayoiga. So they're just like, hey, you want to write something? And then she was like, sure, whatever. And then we got Mayoiga. And
yeah,
I mean, it's a little different. It's weird.
I think it feels like another one of those shows that had potential this season, but ultimately like kind of fell through, but just for different reasons than say Netoge did. I kind of feel like doing a 30 character ensemble cast was like a pretty terrible idea.
Yeah.
Because they really could have condensed it. Like they could have collapsed a ton of characters into like maybe having a 10-person cast or something like that.
Yeah, but I don't know. At the same time, I kind of feel like that kind of just made the show crazier.
Oh, I mean,
because every character was like, I swear to God, they were crazy. But
I felt crazy by the end of the show.
I mean, I guess it's kind of it's kind of like a weird abstract art. It's like you look at it and you're like, what is this? And then you get out of there and you're just like, that was just weird.
Speaking of abstract art, this opening for Mob Psycho is... Have you ever seen like a Syriac animation? Like with the cows that suddenly like morph into spiders and like go crawling around?
I've seen those.
It's this fucking intro. This is weird. Alright, anyways,
it looks
sorry.
really good.
It looks great. No, yeah, like this animation is actually really
it's
cool.
It's some serious eye candy.
But yeah, no, sorry, go on.
So would you put this in the abstract art category of like glass lip?
I guess if you consider glass lip as abstract art, then yes. It kind of is like that. Except I still think Mayoiga is a little bit better written. I
don't think that's much of competition.
That's true, you know.
I still need to go back and watch that, but again, different conversation for a different time.
Yeah, Glass Lip is interesting.
Yeah.
It's a great show. Go watch it.
I hate myself when you all make me watch that show.
Yeah.
No, it's great. You'll have fun.
No, seriously, like you should just I did like Mayoiga. I just didn't think it was a great show. Is all.
It's not great,
but I definitely enjoyed it.
It's got some interesting things going on with it.
Yeah.
So.
Like, I mean, I would.
All bad.
Yeah, I would actually recommend watching it if you have absolutely like nothing else that you're seriously super interested in watching, and
you're just like, I
you're-
want to watch
you're-
something.
yeah, you want to watch something different, I would totally recommend it.
I think
But
if I did
I
anything
would
like
not say
that,
it's a
I would just
great
want to
show.
watch it with you guys.
That's fair. It'd probably be a really good group watch show.
We need to group watch something again.
It's been a
God,
while.
I know it. It's been far too
I love
long.
group watches. It's more fun.
Um. Oh.
Yeah. Yes.
Tanaka-kun.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
still haven't seen
Tanaka.
Tanaka-kun.
I love Tanaka-kun. Like,
Oh my god. Like I haven't finished it yet, and I'm really upset that I haven't finished it. But like, even though I haven't finished it, it's still my anime of the spring season.
Really?
I am so sad that show is over. But
It's oh my god.
like,
It hits every single mark for me.
yeah, it's full
It's
marks.
Maybe
fucking
I should
perfect.
watch this show because I'm reading the synopsis for the first time, and it just says this unconventional surrealist comedy, and I'm like, all right, well that's right up my alley. Okay.
No, yeah, they're not wrong, but it's just there's so many little things that the show does so well. Like, my god, that OP. The opening for Tanaka-kun gets me every single time. And
Opening
it's
for Tanaka-kun is wonderful.
oh my god, it's like opening your eyes and like if you're laying in the grass underneath the shade of a tree on a warm summer day, and there's
Isn't
a
that part
nice
of the
breeze
opening?
from rain.
Did you just get
It-
meta with me?
Is it?
I don't know.
I
I'm
don't
about to
know.
watch it, so I'll let you know, Matt.
Okay, all right.
I'm
Well,
pretty sure that
if it
happens in the
is,
opening.
okay, if it is, that was not intentional, but.
He's not on the grass, but yes, it does look like a warm summer day. He's sleeping and he's waking up.
Okay, all right. Well, that was not intentional, but it probably subliminally got to me because, God, I love this show. But I don't know. Like it's the opening is super nice, and
Why is there someone just dragging his dead fucking body through the park?
That's just the thing. Don't worry about it.
oh yeah, you'll see that a lot, and it's the God, the chemistry between Tanaka and Ota is
It's beautiful.
spot on.
It's the best bromance I've ever seen.
I can't see your face right now, but I'm pretty sure you're doing the dude from Emperor's New Groove right now. Just spot on right there.
Yeah, just call me Pacha right now. It's perfect. Oh God, I know it's like a really like it's a super dumb detail per se for me to like hone in on, but I just really love how at the beginning of each episode, like before it goes into the opening, like they have the whole bit gag, but then like it'll just like suddenly like slap the title of the show onto it and then like fade to white with the title into the opening.
Yeah,
And it's
that is a super nice touch.
It's like it's really satisfying, and it's like the comedic timing of it always like leads perfectly into the opening, and I'm like, you beautiful bastards, how did you do this?
Yeah. Like, I don't know who thought about that idea, but I wish we'd see more stuff like that.
I know
It was a nice detail, but man, it made it perfectly with the music and everything. It just made you like, man, I'm ready for this, and you knew it's just gonna be a good time to relax.
Yeah, how is it I'm pretty sure like Matt, you and I were talking, and you said something to me like the show made you just want to like open up your window and like turn on a fan and just watch the show while like reclining on your bed or something like that.
Yeah, just laying in your bed, and you just watch it, and that's it. Like that's all. It made me. It actually devoted made it. Devoted. I can't talk.
Devoted.
Demotivated. Devotimated. Yeah. I don't even know what votimating is, but don't do it. Yeah, it demotivated me. Like I didn't want to do anything after I finished the show. I don't know if that was because like the show demotivated me, or I just I can't stop saying
well,
it
Matt,
now.
if it's gonna devotimate me that badly, I think I probably it's probably not one of those shows I should watch during work. I don't know if I should do that. I should probably wait until it's the end of the day.
Yeah, just wait to watch it until you're ready to turn into a puddle and just relax.
It's just a great show to relax. It's like you just sit there and you're just like, wow, I'm nothing.
If this, I don't know, Matt. If this show's gonna make me existential, maybe I should hold on.
Wait a minute.
No, I don't mean like I'm nothing as in like you feel worthless. I mean I'm nothing as in, wow, I want to do nothing too.
I'm now picturing I'm gonna get through the opening of the show and it's just gonna be a picture of Nitsuki and he's just like, yeah, God's dead, motherfucker. Oh, jeez.
Oh, Christ.
Well, that's really all I wanted to talk about. There was only one other thing on my list that I wanted to talk about, but I didn't even get a chance to watch it, which was Trigger's Space Patrol Luluco.
You know, I've been meaning to watch that too, but I haven't got around to checking that out either.
I realize, yeah, sure, it's 12 episodes, but it's 12 episodes of 3 minutes each. Like, it would take me no time at all to marathon that. I just didn't get around to it.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was like one of those small little shows that Trigger sometimes puts out that I'm like, yeah, I can get to that later. The exception to those being Inferno Cop. I'm so glad, Zach, that you sat me down and had me watch that show. Oh, jeez.
I will never not suggest Inferno Cop.
That was one of the most beautiful moments of my entire life. I have changed because of that show.
I don't know how that show could change you, but okay.
I'm a little afraid to think of what it changed about you, but
yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk about. Anything else that you guys watched that I might have skipped out on?
I mean, like I did watch a couple of things from the spring season. Like I watched Bungo Stray Dogs, Joker Game.
Oh yeah, you were recommending Joker Game, right?
Yeah, Joker Game's it's pretty good. Like I wouldn't like it's not a show that I'd be like, you know, super highly suggesting like go watch this now. But again, like I think it does this period like crime drama thing pretty well. It's fun adventures with spies and things like that.
Is it very noir or?
Yeah, actually, yeah. That's a good way to put it. That's a better word to put it as. If you're looking for something up that alley, I would totally recommend it. Otherwise, like, again, if you're not, like, if you don't have anything, like, super pressing to watch, I would totally recommend it. It's a fun watch. It doesn't do anything groundbreaking, per se, but it does its period noir drama well.
Well, cool.
Yeah, I can't say I'm terribly interested in it. But what's Bungo Stray Dogs like? Did you finish watching that, or?
Yeah, I did actually.
Was it any good at all?
You know, honestly, it actually really was. I actually enjoyed the show a lot more than I thought I was going to. I like the first thing that really caught me was like I saw, you know, Studio Bones was working on that as well. So they put out Boku no Hero Academia and Bungo Stray Dogs and the most recent season of Concrete Revolution all in the same season. And I was just like, what the fuck, y'all? What are you doing? Like, slow down. But that and
Good stuff.
like no, they really don't. They need to keep going.
They need to
But-
keep going.
But
Yeah,
like
I
the
agree.
art style really caught my attention too, and I kept thinking this feels really similar to me. Like I feel like I've seen this before, and I didn't realize until I had watched like the first episode or so, and like the tone and feel and a lot of things felt like really similar. It wasn't until then that I realized like it was done by I think the same director, the director of Soul Eater. And
Oh.
yeah, so which really comes across in a lot of ways because it has very much the same kind of blending of like comedy and actual action and drama, like all in the same like kind of one after the other in a way that I would argue feels more organic in the show than it did in Soul Eater per se. Like I liked Soul Eater, but I would definitely recommend this over Soul Eater because one, this isn't like 52 episodes, and two, the characters feel more fleshed out in a much smaller span of time. I don't know, like it's not anything like super amazing per se, but it's just really fun to watch. I know that's not like.
Oh, I mean, that's valid. Like I was just wondering. I just didn't know anything about it. I never heard anybody talk about it, so I was just like, what?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
what's going on?
It's not like a holy shit, go ahead and watch this sort of thing, but it was a surprisingly fun show to watch. Pretty nicely choreographed fight scenes. Not a whole lot of drama. It doesn't take itself super seriously.
One of those that like it does what it wanted to do, and it's just like it's not super amazing. So like a lot of people may not have talked about it.
Yeah, basically, like
There probably
again,
were just better things that people were talking about.
Yeah, it's like again, it's not a like amazing show or anything, but it's a fun little romp. And I was definitely like it definitely left it off in a position to do a season 2, which again I found out, oh yeah, it is getting a season 2 in like fall or winter.
Oh wow,
cool.
So yeah, it's pretty fun.
I was actually thinking a minute ago, what's KyoAni doing? Like, I haven't heard anything about them for a while. Then I realized they were doing the movie about the deaf girl.
What?
Doing a movie about a deaf girl?
Yeah, they're doing the Koi no Kachi or something like that. I forgot they were doing that this season. That's the reason we haven't heard anything about them.
I think I
Yeah,
feel
Koi no
like
Katachi.
you posted like a PV for that a while back.
Oh, it's called A Silent Voice in English.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not.
Delete that.
I'm not correcting you. I was just like, I like the play on words for the title.
Oh, it just made it sound like, oh, I didn't understand what you were talking about, so I'm going to use the English title.
I'm sorry, Matt. I don't understand moon runes. Can you speak it in American for me?
It's basically the vibe I got, and I was like, sorry.
Sorry, Sass Master.
God.
Okay, no, that
I
sounds-
remember that's what they were doing.
yeah, I'm reading the synopsis. It sounds interesting. I would like to watch this.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Watch it.
It'd be really cool if it came to America in theaters. That would be cool.
Yeah,
That would be cool. KyoAni, please do that.
Da-da-da-da-da. Get begging.
Pretty much.
legit though. It does kind of suck that like the only time I ever find out that these things are coming to America, it's like, yeah, the theater down the street is from me, is doing it, but I just completely miss out every single time because it's one of those one-time showings.
Yeah. Well, at least you even have a theater that's down the street that has it.
Okay, that's fair. That was a little bit of a humble brag. Sorry about that.
Some people have to drive.
Dude,
really
yeah, Matt, how far did you drive for the Love Live movie?
That was a 3-hour drive. I would not have driven more than that, but you know what? 3 hours was okay.
Oh shit! That reminds me, we didn't talk about Sunshine.
Sunshine?
Yeah.
What's Sunshine?
Oh my gosh, Love Live Sunshine.
What's Love Live?
You facetious asshole.
I don't know about this series called Love Live. Is this some kind of moe bait show?
So, Matt, getting off of this bullshit that you're pulling, what did you think about Sunshine in comparison to like the original series? Since I know that you were a huge fan of the first series.
You're not gonna believe this, but I actually kind of like Sunshine a little bit.
Oh my gosh, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Like, legit, I've only seen 2 episodes. So I don't know if they're going to go dive real hard into the drama or whatever, but like they're doing a really good job of like just a lot of humor that hits, and it hits really well and quickly. And then mixing some drama in amongst that. That's like, it's not too hard. It's just light drama and just enough that the story is interesting.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's very good about the comedy. Episode 2 was really good. That's this episode that actually sold me. That I was like, no, this is far better than what the original was.
Also, I know I mentioned it, but Matt, they were taking that metaphor really, really hard. Like, there's this. So Zach, there's this whole scene. It's not much of a spoiler. Where like these 2 girls live next to each other, and it's the whole windowsill thing where like they can literally jump to each other across the windows. They're that close. And like, she finally convinces the one girl to like join up with her by doing this wonderful like metaphor of don't ever let go of that dream, and then she like reaches out with her hand, and it turns out that they're both a little short and with not too long of arms, and it's kind of a long distance, and so like they're reaching, and like the one girl's just like, I actually can't reach you, and she's like, no, don't give up on the metaphor. It like stretches her arm further. And like at this point they're almost literally about to fall like 2 to 3 stories to their death, and I was like, okay, we can pull back just a little. This is getting a little ridiculous.
It's getting out of hand, as you put it.
No, that's how you. Oh, I did say that.
No,
accidentally,
you did say that,
and then you pointed out the pun. No, I like Love Live Sunshine so far, and Zach, if you are interested, it barely has anything to do with the original show, so you're totally good if you just want to jump in here. And give it a shot. It's fun.
I still do want to watch the original though.
Oh, definitely.
I would watch the original first. Episode 5, 4, 5. I don't remember which one.
I haven't gotten that far.
But it may get a little confusing, but it's not a big deal. Like,
if you haven't seen the original
it would just
series?
mean a little more if you saw the original.
Oh, okay.
And that's kind of how Sunshine is. I feel like you would get a lot more out of it. If,
so far there's like a bunch of callouts and references to the original series, but there's nothing so overt that you wouldn't understand it if it's like your first time watching it, which I think is cool. That's a very cool way of approaching it, where this is supposed to be its own unique standalone series. But for all the people that have been with like Love Live in general, like that's really neat that they have those callouts.
And by the way, I know it sounds a little cheesy and ridiculous. That I kind of know what Zach's probably thinking. It sounds a little cheesy and ridiculous. Like Love Live is kind of like that.
Love Live loves its cheese. Like,
but it's kind of like it's not like over the top comedy, but you're not supposed to take it seriously.
No, it's the entire series with the exception of some really weird drama in like the first and second seasons of the first show. Besides that, it never takes itself seriously, and it asks you the entire time to just not take it seriously. It wants to be cheesy for the purpose of being cheesy.
Yeah, it's just an uplifting kind of show.
Yeah,
like, and the funny thing is that and I'll talk about this for a minute, but pretty much like I don't know what it is right now, but people really hate idols. Like, I don't know why. This like literally started like maybe last season.
I guess people are kind of getting tired of it in the same way that we're getting tired of MMO shows.
I'm gonna be honest. Like my brother and I literally had this conversation like yesterday.
Oh really?
he like I don't even know what problem it. He was like, I'm so sick of idol shit. And I'm like, what is? It's like, what did idol shit do to you?
Like, I don't know.
Did an idol kill your father? Like, why are you so mad?
I don't know.
Like legit though, like all this shit keeps happening. Like in the past 6 months, there's just been a whole bunch of shit that's been really happening to idols and idol genres. And everyone's like, wow, like people that love idols are the fucking scum. Like they're worse than otakus. Like, and I'm like, what the fuck, guys? Like,
God.
come on.
That's really odd too, because I remember when you were talking about the movie premiere over here in America that you drove 3 hours for, the Love Life movie. You said that it was so fascinating to you, like just the different people that were coming together for a show that's all about happiness. Like, you said that you met up with an old couple and they were like the coolest people in the world.
It was so weird. Like, I swear to God, they were like 50, and I was like, what's going on? Like, this is weird.
It's all these people coming out of the woodwork that you just wouldn't suspect to all be shown. Like a couple that are both 50 years old and like very, very into the show. They're not just like, oh, I heard this animu's pretty interesting. Like they actually were legit invested in the show.
Yeah.
And then like you said, there was a bunch of other people that were like younger than you and stuff. And I was like, that is just fascinating to me.
Yeah,
it's really interesting to think about like how this genre seems to like bring together such a weird smorgasbord of people.
And the weird thing is that like Love Live is kind of like it's got this weird demographic. It's almost like 50-50 male and female, and it's got like it goes all age ranges. Like
that's surprising, especially in Japan.
Yeah, it's super weird. Like. And I guess, like, a lot of people are like, oh, idol's otaku bait. But, you know, like Love Live doesn't do that. So when people hate idol shows, they're like, why isn't Love Live dark and gritty like other idol shows? And I'm like, have you seen the other idol shows? Like, they're a piece of shit.
I think the only one that I would accept as being dark and gritty is that one Idol Gundam show or whatever it was.
Are you talking about Macross Delta?
Yeah, one of those. Yeah, it's like that. I would accept as okay. Well, that's understandably gonna be dark and gritty, but like,
but isn't like Macross Delta actually like completely?
I don't know what Macross Delta is.
All I know is like it's Macross but with idols or something.
But what I don't understand is that like the people that I know that talk about Macross Delta are like, you've got to watch this, like. So I don't know. I don't know what it's about.
I would have never thought that mech anime and idol anime would have been the same thing. Like,
yeah. Well, apparently, if you ever heard of a series called Symphogear, that's a big series in Japan too. It's also mech and idols.
Really?
Yeah.
It's this. Macross Delta's not the first one to do it. Symphogear was, and it's got like 3 or 4 seasons. So.
See, I didn't know that it was such a big thing. I just knew that it existed.
Yeah. I didn't know either, but then you start running into a lot of people, and it's like, what?
I think there legit was a Gundam idol show though but I can't remember the name of it.
Gundam idol show.
Or at least one.
Are you sure you're not thinking of some weird shit from G Gundam? Because that sounds like something that would totally be in G Gundam's wheelhouse.
I don't know if it was like entirely an idol show, but I feel like there was one that like it wasn't just one character, like multiple characters were idols or something like that.
Are you thinking about Aquarian? Because that is another mech idol show.
Probably what I was thinking of. All I know is that Yoko Kanno did the music for it.
That's
okay,
possible.
well, I'm pretty sure that wasn't a Gundam series.
Okay, she has done a Gundam series.
That might be Macross F, actually, that you're thinking of. But anyway, my point is that like there's a bunch of idol hate right now, and I don't know why. And then people are like, I hate when Love Live celebrates idols and the fun of it because it's fun. Like things can't be fun.
Yeah, I don't know why people want to go for an edge fest for a lot of their shows. It's like the whole point of an idol anime, I think, whenever I've seen of the ones that I've seen, is just like a group of girls going out and doing something fun. It's not supposed to be like this really dramatic thing.
It doesn't have to be a critique on the genre or a critique on otaku or a critique on whatever.
Yeah, like if you want an edge show, just like go watch Tokyo Ghoul or something.
Yeah, it's
That's
it's
edgy.
just supposed to be like a feel-good anime. That's all it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like the only edge you're going to get out of an idol show is like some evil producer that doesn't know how to play chess.
Idol Master.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Yoko Kanno has done soundtracks for both Aquarion and Macross, so
Oh, okay.
Ah.
yeah, so that would explain why that popped in my head.
I know my idols.
Oh, she also did Turn A Gundam. That's probably why I was thinking, because I saw
Gundam?
Turn A Gundam. I was it's an older series. That's probably why I was thinking, because I saw something on Yoko Kanno. It was like a biography thing, and that's probably why I got in my head Gundam and Idols, because she had done Macross, Aquarion, and Turn A Gundam.
Interesting.
But Turn A Gundam's just like your typical Gundam show. I don't think it's Idols. Anyways, yeah, Idol shows. There's nothing wrong with them. I don't know why people are getting mad.
I don't know either. If they want an edge fest, they can go watch Kabaneri or Attack on Titan Train Zombie version. And that was shitty. And then everyone was like, why is this so shitty? Why is it so edgy? And I'm like, hello?
Because you
It's
asked
like-
for
it's-
it.
It's literally the same studio, guys.
What you wanted. Like, I don't know what people want. I don't know what they want.
I mean, apparently not Thomas the Tank Engine and Attack on Titan crossover.
I'm now thinking of just the Attack on Titan OP playing during like an episode of Thomas the Tank Engine. That would be one of the most beautiful things in the world.
I just imagined something like out of freaking meme land.
I feel like I want to make a remix of that, actually.
It would have been straight memes. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, was Thomas the Tank Engine Attack on Titan, was that actually the spring season?
That was spring season, so I brought that up.
Yeah,
Thomas the Titan.
You didn't like it, right? Like it started out strong, but then it just kind of fell.
Well, here's the thing about it, I obviously have that article on the site.
Yeah, Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress.
Right.
I can't remember the name.
The way I would put it is that it had some promise because it's the same director as Attack on Titan. It's got Hiroyuki Sawano. It's got. I swear to God, by the way, I think Hiroyuki Sawano is contracted by WIT, and WIT has him locked up somewhere.
He's in a cage.
I'm really worried about him.
He's like the director from Shirobako. They legit put him in a cage somewhere in like the back
you have to
office.
finish this.
No, I legit think that's what's going on because like the last 3 or 4 WIT shows have been all music by him, and it's all the same kind of stuff. And so I'm like, are you okay? Like, I just want to make sure you're not like being tortured or
blink twice if you're in trouble.
Yeah, so it's made by all these top-notch people that have obviously done all this shit before, and it started out okay, but then like the characters like really went downhill, and then they didn't know what they were doing with the story, and it all kind of just piled into a big mess. Like, they had something good, and they had a good idea, and they were doing the good idea, and then they were like, hey, we need some edgy drama.
Yeah, didn't you say that they like halfway through they just pulled a bad guy out of their ass?
They legit did. Like, there was a bad guy. They were like, well, we need a bad guy because, apparently zombies that can't die except by a certain weapon are not bad enough, so they brought in a bad guy. And
they realized that they wanted to recreate season 2 of The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
No one else is gonna know what that is except for me. It was shit. It was shit. Let's move on.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just glad I stopped watching The Walking Dead. I'm so much better for it.
Yeah, but yeah.
Anyway.
So you said, I think it was in your article, you stated that they introduced this character, and because they introduced the character, they immediately just took all of their characters and made them shitty versions of themselves.
It legit, yeah. Like, they had some cool characters, and like even the protag, like he did okay. Like, but then he became a big edgelord, but he was always kind of an edgelord, so he was kind of like a fringe example because, like, he was already edgy, and you know how like the main characters for those shows are. They're like, I want to save my friends,
Yeah.
But I don't know, like they character dies, spoilers, and like there was no reason for it, and then they took both of their female pro tags, which were super cool, and they were just like, hey, you know what's great? Let's, you know, lock them up and mind break them. Like, I was like, why? Not like literal mind. Well, okay, not literal mind break. There was mind control involved. Let's put it like that.
That doesn't even make it remotely better.
No, it really doesn't. Let's just like go straight into hentai territory here.
But yeah, like they basically had these cool characters, and then they just were like, hey, you know that? Yeah, we're gonna have this bad guy do a bunch of bad things to show that he's really evil, and then we're not gonna explain why he's doing it. We're just gonna, you know, he's doing it because he's bad.
Yes,
you know,
sort of
bad.
Move on.
Yeah. So that show was shit. It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't awful. Like the animation was pretty cool and the music was okay, but no.
Yeah, you showcased in your article some of the like animation. I think. Well, no, you showcased some of the music.
Yeah.
Music was kick ass.
The music's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it was like it's the same guy that did Kill la Kill, right? That's what you said.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, and it felt a lot like Kill la Kill, except for it was like if you took the like really sweet actiony elements of Kill la Kill and like streamlined them and make them like instead of this harsh cacophony of sound that Kill la Kill was, it's like if you like reduce some of the instruments used and then just like streamlined it, and it was just so fucking beautiful. It was really
rad.
Yeah,
like
it was really really cool.
Like, I do actually recommend just going and like finding some of the soundtrack and just listening to it because it's actually a really good soundtrack, but the show is not worth watching just for the soundtrack. So just go find it somewhere. There's places.
Okay.
Anything else you guys wanted to talk about? I think that pretty much covered almost everything that we could have possibly talked about.
I mean, unless you want to talk about Qualidea Code or
something. Like I haven't watched enough of that.
I don't. There's not much to talk about. Like, it's a show.
Let's see. Oh yeah, the new Berserk is shit. So there's that.
Oh yeah. I could
before the first episode was even
dude,
out.
I could tell that just from the PV. Like, I saw that and I was like, wow.
To be fair, I didn't watch the PV. So
you
I just went in like,
that.
okay,
Dude, I'm
this
so
is gonna be
sorry.
cool.
Mistake
And
number
then
one.
Yeah.
Mistake number two, actually watching it.
Yeah. But anyway, it's not news or noteworthy, so whatever.
Well, anything else before we wrap up?
I'm pretty much exhausted.
Yeah, I'm pretty tapped out, I think.
All right. Well, this was really cool for like a general podcast. Our first one.
Yeah.
First official one.
Right, first official one. So I guess we'll just see everybody next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.